All right. Hey, everyone. We back again.
We back. We
All
back.
right, cool. I'm Spencer, and of course, we have our licensed clinical therapist who changes the intro like every other time, Nas.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Nas. Nice to be here. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Appreciate it.
Yep, we're just talking to ourselves now. Hope they really don't see this. This is a Different Spectrums podcast where we talk about movies, shows, and the mental health aspects that surround them. We also like to have some laughs, so don't take us too seriously.
Or do. That's up to you.
There we go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it.
1 thumb, 2 thumbs. Same time.
That didn't sound good. And I'm black again. God damn it. I'm always black when I don't choose to be. All right.
Jesus.
So today this is a Monday pod, right? Yes, no guests today. It's just us. Your two co-hosts for the show.
The lovely autistic man. Yep.
All right. So today we are going to be taking a look at a few scenes from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yes. So with that, we're going to be talking a little bit about imposter syndrome, what it's like to be speaking with your clients as a therapist, and kind of we're talking about talking to the disorder itself rather than the client, right? Because we want to separate those two instead of just thinking that this disorder is just all them. We want to make sure to separate that. So we're going to be talking about those things today, probably get into some other shenanigans also. And you know what? We should probably do a show on Super Troopers. That'd probably be pretty hilarious.
For
you
sure.
Ever seen that?
Oh, of course. Yeah, that was the Bible back in the day.
The Bible, Jesus.
Had the Bible.
Love me some Super Troopers. All right. So with that, Nas, anything before we get into the show?
Again, well done, Spence. We're going to talk about some stuff with this, specifically, like you said, separating the disorders, what it's like to be actually in that therapeutic alliance with an individual, to be, right, Tyrion Lannister is the correct name for him, right?
I think it's Tyrion.
Yep.
Tyrion? No, it's
Tyrion.
Tyrion. Is it Tyrion? It looks like Tyrion.
I'm going to call him Little T.
Little T. My boy Little T. Probably Peter Dinklage probably would hate that so much.
100%. Yeah, I'm gonna let him know right now, Little T. Well, you don't like it, you gonna fight me. You gonna kick me in the shin?
Oh my God. We got Mr. T and we got Little T.
Yep. So
I pity the food. Sorry.
So we're gonna talk about some of that stuff, and then we're gonna get into the visual representation of this absolute fear when you think everything's going good in life, and then all of a sudden, a zombie dragon starts blowing fucking blue fire.
Flame? Yeah, there you go.
I almost said steam. So
steam.
Steam. I like a good steamer. So we're gonna have some fun today, Monday pod, but we're also gonna do some pretty good visuals, and then of course there'll be maybe a few story times, and we have some fun stuff to get to about the previous pods. So I'm gonna put a little pause in here and get a little bit for real, and then we're gonna have a few minutes of silence after this. So everyone knows that everyone has big friends, familiar friends, watches Friends. A lot of folks watch as their anxiety show, the repetitive show. A lot of folks on the spectrum watch. A lot of anxious individuals watch it. So everyone knows that Matthew Perry tragically passed away, and a lot of people loved him as a human, as an actor, in his roles, and helped a lot of people out because of that goofy, funny, neurodivergent character that he played. So we're going to do a little moment of silence for him, and then a little tribute video real quick, just to make sure that people pay homage to him. Sound good, Spence?
Sounds good.
All right. Boop, boop.
Boop, boop.
I'm friends with your mother. I'm here to help. Don't eat the help. When I was a child, an uncle asked what gift I wanted for my name day. I begged him for one of you. It wouldn't even have to be a big dragon, I told him. It could be little, like me. Everyone laughed, like it was the funniest thing they'd ever heard. Then my father told me the last dragon had died a century ago. I cried myself to sleep that night. But here you are. Next time I have an idea like that, punch me in the face.
everyone. I'm here to talk about our new collaborator, Toink Toys. They have a wide selection of, you guessed it, toys and other great collectibles. They have products from Marvel, Star Wars, Harry Potter, and everything pop culture. You could say they put the toy in Toink. So go check them out at toink.com and use our code Different Spectrums Podcast to get 10% off your entire order today. We back.
Again. We're back. We're back and we're live. We're so live, we're like a zombie dragon live. That's how live we are. We're like a zombie dragon.
We're back again as a dragon.
As soon as you think you're dead, you're not dead.
Hey, winter is coming.
Winter's coming.
Game.
Yeah.
So before we get into the show, shout out to all of our collaborators. We have a nice growing list of collaborators. First of all, shout out to Bub's Naturals. Always great, always lovely. Cure Hydration, Pinfinity, Silver Dollar Candle, Two Nerds Candle Company, Cat and Raven Company, and then of course Toink Toys.
I love some Toinks, some Toink toys.
If you want to get up to 20% off your entire order when you check out, use the code DSP, DSP20, or just by going to our link tree and clicking on the link. And we also have the discount codes right in there, so you don't even have to really do anything. Just copy paste. That's all you gotta do. So go check those out for us, and buy stuff, because then we get some monies, and we'd really appreciate some monies. So
it helps. Everything helps.
Buy stuff. Yes. So with that, we are going to be doing Game of Thrones, like I said earlier, and we're going to be mainly focusing on Tyrion Lannister, right? So if you don't know, Tyrion Lannister is a dwarf in Game of Thrones. And he obviously, especially during this time, if you have any type of like, I don't know, disformity or anything like that, anything that you could be seen as different as, you are going to be looked as less than, right?
Back.
I mean, even women were looked at as less than. So, and so for Tyrion, he really had to rely on his intellect as well as being cunning, you know? And so we see that because of his size, he really had to make sure that he was being the smartest person in the room, no matter what, or even the most cunning person. So he really had to, you know, make some moves, shoot his father while he was taking a shit with an arrow.
That's how I'm gonna do it. Walking in while he's shitting. I got you, bitch.
Jesus. They're gonna see the receipt of like just a fucking of a bow. Be like, did he learn how to just shoot an arrow?
I've done it before.
Legolas, as you shoot it at him. Hit him in the knee. Like, God damn it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we see Tyrion here, and he's talking to some dragons, right? And he sets them free, which was probably not the best choice, you know, that you could have done. Worked out in the end, but I thought his ass was going to get eaten when I first saw it. I was like, well, because no one's really safe in Game of Thrones. Let's be honest.
Nope.
Everyone can die.
Right.
And so, I think it was pretty interesting. And then he kind of gets into a story about when he was younger and how he wanted his own dragon and wanted it to be small, just like it. So what made you want to pick this scene, Nas? What about it? Why are we looking at Tyrion? Why him? Yeah.
You know, so Halloween just passed. And when I was passing out all the fun-sized candy, this made me think of him.
You're like, fun-sized Snickers. Peter Dinklage. There we go. There we go.
Hey, I'm about to get canceled for ableism. Shout out to that. Real talk though, like you said, for folks that feel like they're fighting against a lot of different stuff, right? Different biases, ableism, different types of white supremacy.
I only want guys who are 6 feet. God damn it!
So it leads to a lot of stuff. Leads to a lot of insecurities. Leads to a lot of people treating you differently, not taking you serious. It can lead to a lot of stuff. But today, we're going to focus on some stuff because of the previous pod that came out last week that y'all watched, which was with Rory FC, and specifically the Rory the Roarosaurus. Yeah. And so we decided to go, and they decided to go a good dinosaur for that. It was going to be a Game of Thrones scene in these two scenes. But we decided to go a little bit more PG-13 for that, right? Because, dinosaurs are a little bit scary. Little PG-13.
So PG. It's not even 13. It was so PG.
Real PG. We went PG.
Yeah.
And so these were the ones that we were going to shoot for that, but we decided to use it as a separate pod, a Monday pod.
Probably a smart choice by us, finally.
Every once in a while it happens. It just happens.
Yeah. We're like, you know what? Let's not have dragons murdering each other for the semi-pro women's team.
Yeah. Let's change this up. You know what I'm saying? Let's make this a family show.
Let's be smart here.
Yeah. This is a Monday pod scene.
Yes.
So that's why we were originally going to shoot it, and we were going to talk about imposter syndrome in which one could see, Tyrion as this, and then also the dragon, being this terrifying, scary, monstrous thing, and you're sitting there shaking in your boots, and you don't know what to do, right? And then you free them. So we're going to get into some visual representation in a second, like what does that actually mean, and how could one interpret that, and then use it in a therapy setting to talk to the therapist, to meme it, to send it as reels, whatever. We're going to talk about that. The second scene I thought was going to be really good for Rory as well, talking about anxiety, social anxiety, and how you feel like everything's good, and then just all of a sudden, the walls come tumbling down. So those are reasons why, right, I picked those out, and why I thought that it would be a good representation for Rory. But let's get into today's pod. Hey, pod. So, what questions you got for me today? What question?
So, we talked about it a little bit. I know, right? I'm getting professional here. This is Monday, so I'm chill now.
Monday pod.
So for those who don't know, can you give us a brief synopsis of like what is imposter syndrome, and like how can it like really affect people?
Yes. So imposter syndrome, it is this overwhelming feeling where you think that you're inadequate, not enough, that you don't deserve to be there, that you're not qualified to be there, you're not intelligent enough. It's that basically you're not enough. And the thing is what's funny is that you actually are enough. You are all these wonderful qualities. You are good in all these ways. But in that brain of yours, there's something telling you like, you know what? You ain't it. You ain't shit. You simply, you suck.
You are the worst ever.
Yeah. And you ugly too. You just, hunchback,
oh my God,
eye patch.
Where you going with this?
He got no teeth, you know what I'm saying?
Imposter. You an imposter.
Imposter. But actuality, most of the people that I meet, everyone has a little bit of imposter syndrome. Doesn't really matter. It's in a bunch of different or little small areas throughout life. Where you're like, man, I don't know. You go to an interview, I don't know. You're in a group setting doing homework. I don't know if I'm the smartest one here. You go into the gym, you might feel an imposter there, like you're not big enough, strong enough, cute enough, thick. You ain't one of them thick ones.
Got that thick.
Pause. So we've all had this anxiety of this being this imposter. And that's just a simple way to put it. You know, it's not like only that athletes feel it or only people that are smart. Could be in literally any special interest that you have, especially being someone on the autism spectrum. You got a lot of special interests. You might feel like you're not the best in that area. I know. I remember when I was playing video games in college, I had a full-on meltdown. I'm like, I'm getting my ass kicked in like Call of Duty, Halo. I'm like, I ain't shit. I suck at video games. I suck at homework. You know, I'm just lonely as hell. I ain't strong enough, but I'm strong. You know, just feel like I'm straight up bitch.
I couldn't find any other word, huh?
No, I couldn't. I was just like, straight up, I just feel like the worst, man.
Yeah.
I hated those moments. The wild thing is, Spence, like now I'm like in the 1% for education. I'm in like the 1% of individuals that are like my height and economic status now. Hello, ladies. Hello, hello, ladies.
So I have a quick question then.
What's up?
With that? It's like, so imposter, would you say imposter syndrome is mainly going to be like inside your own mind, right? When it comes to everything. But what about those, what is it still imposter syndrome if it's with somebody who is like Tyrion, who's being looked at and being seen as less than, as being told that he's less than, even by like his own father? Is that still the same thing as imposter syndrome?
The thing is Tyrion's good at a bunch of other stuff. And so, you know, he could be an imposter for like prowess or anger, or not anger, like strength. Maybe people's respect, but in actuality, he's like usually the smartest dude in the room. So if he had imposter, if he felt inadequate when it comes to his intelligence, then I would say that would be imposter syndrome. But life has beaten him down physically, mentally, metaphorically, to make him think that he is trash and that he is worthless and that he's not even, he's segregated from the family so far, they don't even like having him around in the early days of the show, right? So that will create a shit ton of imposter syndrome. So him, you know, some of his shit is not just imposter syndrome, his shit's like straight up abuse and trauma. So if we were to talk about him, it would be abuse and trauma that leads to this personality defect that you are flawed, you're garbage. A lot of my students, I think that they're too broken, they're too flawed, they're too ugly, not smart enough. And at the end of the day, majority of us, and I say majority of us, that we're not good enough to be loved. Simple, plain as that. That we're not good enough to have friendships. And I work with a lot of clients that are good folks, good people. There was this scene that's always stuck in my head, and I've said it multiple times now. It was once with Viola Davis, forgot what movie it was. And then it was again once with that Mike Tyson TV show that we watched. When his pseudo dad, his trainer, right, his boxing coach, can't believe I just blanked out on his name, tells Tyson in the show.
Is it Frank Castellano, or is it?
Yep,
is that just
Castellano.
am I making that up?
Yep, Castellano. Yep, because he calls him Leto. So he says, "Man, you were so easy to love, Michael. You were so easy to love." And I've said that to many students, and it usually breaks them in the office, dude. Or you get someone there, and you're just like, "Kid, you're good people, kid. Like you're wonderful. You're kind. You're empathetic. You help people. You're strong." I did it the other day. You know, students come in talking this or that. And I said, "I got you back no matter what." And they said, "Why?" "Because I think you're going to save people's lives." And I said, "Why do you think that?" "Just from the person you are. You ain't got to do shit. Just be you. That kindness radiates off you. You're going to save people's lives." And then they usually start crying. I said, "Kid, you're so easy to love." And they always go, "Well, why couldn't my parents do it?" I said, I don't know. But I know everyone else loves you. So people come in with that major imposter syndrome for like even just wanting to exist. I feel like just an imposter just walking around. And then they come to therapy and I'm like, "Oh, no, you got this. Oh, you one of the baddest motherfuckers that walking around on this campus. You didn't even know it, huh? Oh, okay." Kid the other day, Spence said, you know, what would have happened? Because we talked about Halloween. I think we did it in the last pod about that cute little Mexican kid that was at Tyrannosaurus or Triceratops. Sorry, and I said how I cried, and then they started crying Because they said that'd be so awesome. Because I didn't have a dad like that. I said one day you're gonna have a partner, and then you're gonna do that with your kid, and you're both gonna go and trick or treat, and then you're gonna be sitting there when they waddle on up to someone's door. That'll be you soon, one day. How do you know? You just gotta keep moving forward, kid, because people gonna love you. I said the person that talks to you and they get wifed up with you, that's a lucky son bitch right there. And I said, you think so, huh? I said, yeah, I know so. You end up reparenting a lot of people, Spence. You end up reparenting them. And then a couple of people said, even this week, she said, Nas, you like the dad I never had. I said, I appreciate that. That shit almost made me cry. Like I had to get out of that. Because if I would have stuck in that, I would have, it's like,
Papa, no.
You know? I was like, oh shit, kid, I got you. So yeah, there's all that stuff. I was trying to talk about imposter syndrome, but what it really looks like in the field,
right?
It's usually people just feeling so alone, bro, just alone.
Yeah, and I think we see that with Tyrion.
Yeah,
I think he kind of separates himself from a lot of people. It's hard for him to get attached to anybody else, I think, also because maybe he's afraid of that kind of disappointment / they're going to turn on him.
Yep.
Also, I mean, like the place that they live, the world that they live in is all like backstabby. Like every little thing you can get backstabbed like so easily. So
shit when them must look real good.
Like literally and figuratively. Like you can literally get stabbed in the back. I've seen it multiple times.
Yep. I'll stab you, then eat you. Put some Arby's sauce on your ass.
And then Mike Tyson's trainer was Cuz Diamato?
Customato. There we go. Customato. Not Castelletto.
Customato.
Cuss.
Yeah. I don't know where the Frank came from. I think I just picked an Italian name for my ass.
Hey, gabagoo.
Gabagoo. You got the gabagoo.
Yep.
Next, we're doing Godfather. Psych. So you speak about, speaking with your clients and everything like that. What is it like when you're talking to somebody with imposter syndrome, and what do you kind of do? We talked about a little bit, just kind of separating their disorder from the person itself, right? Just so that they can make sure they know that this isn't just all they can be, and this just isn't all of them. So what does that kind of look like when you have that client?
All right. So good setup. This is a tricky one. Anxiety, OCD, which is an anxiety-based disorder. It could be anxiety that's based off of autism, just being hyperfixated to shit, and then start looping and looping and looping. And, they start to believe that, this is who they are. This is like, not just like identify as being like OCD. They're like, man, this is all I'm ever going to be. I'm always going to be fucked up. I'm always going to be overthinking things. I'm always going to be lost in my mind. I'm always going to have this eating disorder. Like, I am the eating disorder. No, homie. Like, you Tiffany. You're Bobby. You're not the eating disorder. That's something separate. And so I like to create this narrative therapy, and get you to segregate that slowly away from you. Because it's kind of hard to combat yourself sometimes when you're in your head thinking, and you're like, oh man, that's wrong, and that's wrong, that wrong. It's like, how do you tell yourself like that's wrong? But it's easier to fight a certain object or opponent or an entity. You just swing in that air, man. What the fuck's that going to do? When you actually have something identified, well, now you can target it and strategically start to immobilize it. And so what does immobilizing mean? It's to structurally, systematically break something down to where it's no longer harmful. So if you do have these automatic negative thoughts that you're terrible, or you're dumb, you're ugly, whatever it is, you're weird, you're awkward, you're too vibrant, people say you talk too much, whatever, then you can start doing this for the OCD stuff too. OCD about getting certain things done, or maybe it's like self-harm, maybe it's suicidality, maybe it's homicidality, maybe it's certain sexual things, maybe it's germs, maybe it's different phobias. But that's when you start, I had recently a lot of kids worried about, breaking up. Like the relationship was good, and then all of a sudden they had like one weird moment. Now they're like, damn, my partner, we're going to end up hating each other. I'm like, why would you you like each other now, everything's good, but like, man, I had one panic attack. Now I'm always going to freak out that, you know, every time I'm with them that they hate me. It's not true. So I like to get people to segregate it. Meaning you are going through day to day as you. And then when you have an intrusive thought that is something is wrong, and then you start to scan your body looking for things to be wrong physically or cognitively, right? The OCD picks up and it will actually try to identify things. But if nothing is wrong, then you're good. Physically, or no triggers. But then your brain is like, oh, but here's these intrusive thoughts. If you can recognize it as this is this intrusive entity, this OCD, this anxiety, that's very beneficial. It's like, as soon as it happens, you like, oh yeah, no, like I'm not gonna hurt this person. Like that's stupid. But see what happens, Spence, is a lot of people will have like a scary thought. And they'll be like, damn, I just thought that scary thing. Like that means I'll probably do it. Like I am like this crazy fucked up person. Or like I am gonna fail all my tests and become homeless. Or am I like my parents do fucking hate me? Now, intrusive thought, homie. But since they have it that first time, it's so jarring that it just keeps happening. And it keeps happening because it overstimulates them. Then you got folks like me that have intrusive thoughts all the time. Some bad. Like you're like, ugh. And then some of them it's just like stupid. You're like, oh, I'm gonna kick this can in the street and like not pick it up. And then there's some where you're like, I'm gonna jam this knife into my leg because I think my legs are numb. Shout out Ricky Bobby.
There's 2 knives stuck in there now.
Yeah. Intrusive thought is trying to take a pause, identify what's going on, know that it is irrational, and then instead of hating this entity, this anxiety or OCD, you're like, okay, let me understand. Oh, I'm freaking out about something else right now, or I'm being overwhelmed with something else. How can I take a second, breathe, regulate, and then come at this with rational thought? I've had a lot of folks with OCD kind of do this step-by-step process. I've had them do regulation and breathing and different things. That helps out as well. Sometimes separated and creating an entity, a name, or like a visual, an anime character, a dragon like this, right? It helps because you know what that looks like and thus you can fight it. So here's the last bit. They say that you can fight it, but technically you just spend your whole day fighting it. So they talk more about like soothing it, letting the OCD part of you know, like, I don't fully hate you, because then that just allows things to grow. You acknowledge, you're very mindful of what's going on and why. Like, hey man, this intrusive thought, like, we're good. Nothing actually too bad is going on right now. But as soon as you start to be vile, I fucking hate myself for having this, man. I'm crazy, man. Why I keep doing this? I'm mad. I've had no intrusive thoughts for weeks and now I'm having them again. This is bullshit. That's the stuff that'll make you freak out. And that's you just throwing fucking pork chops to the fucking dragon.
Right.
I couldn't think of number of pork chops. I wanted to say pork steak, chops. But I said pork. I just bought some pork chops.
There's one. There's one. That's the first food.
That one.
Food reference for the pod.
So that's what I thought. Something kind, something softening, label it, intrusive thoughts, regulate your emotions. Tyrion is kind of doing this in the scene. He's trying to get the dinosaur calm down. He's comforting. He's kind of going to pet. He's like empathizing and shit, right? So all that makes sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense. And I think that it's always tough to kind of regulate your own like emotions and stuff, especially in the moment. It's always tough. But I think once you kind of catch on to what's happening before it actually happens, that's when you can actually, get ahead of it before it like really takes over or anything like that. And it happens. It happens. I met a lot of people who can do that. But it's also tough. It's tough to do sometimes, especially like if you're dreaming or anything like that. You can't really you can't really control that much, that's your own mind working against you a little bit. And, I've met plenty of people who have like those bad dreams and then they take that like it's serious, like their own mind is like, like it's a fact instead of it just being like their own mind kind of fuck with them.
Yeah, they'll get locked in and obsessive about it, and then they'll be like, "Oh, this means something." Like, "No, homie, you just stressed out."
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes it does mean something.
Sometimes it does, and
Yep.
sometimes it feels like it's fucking real,
Yep.
feels like a real thing. So,
Yep.
not knocking anyone who has those type of dreams, because I've met a lot of people who do.
Yep.
And
So
so,
it's an autism thing too. So a lot of folks
mm,
with autism will have extreme, very vivid dreams or extreme
right,
night terrors.
right, yeah, yeah. I remember we were talking about that in
Yep.
Before we went to the Bears game. So,
Yep.
interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Um, you want to get to the wall scene now, or
Oh, real quick.
yeah, go for it.
So right, Tyrion would be like the therapist in this moment.
Right.
And that would be me relating to people and talking to people, because I remember, I like stories and I'm telling people stories. And
Mm-hmm.
some therapists, they will to just talk about their issues, or like, this the drama that's at my house, right? And then the client's like,
Right.
damn, that's fucked up. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's their therapy session, not yours.
Let me vent to you real quick.
I'm telling you, man, that'll happen with a lot of folks. And you got to watch out, because some of your really kind clients and students, they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, how was your weekend? How was your day? And then people will just go with that because you see
Right.
them so long, and that might make you think that it's like appropriate to tell them. So like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell people like, I'm a little tired, I'm dragging ass right now, but like, it's all good. Let's talk. How about you? Right.
Right.
But I like to use the stories. And I remember, trying to calm this beast of the dragon down for a lot of my humans this year. Like, hey
Mm-hmm.
man, I have intrusive thoughts all the time. You do? Yeah, man. Sometimes about eating shit. Sometimes about like touching burning things or hot things. Like, man, I
Mm-hmm.
shut my hand in this fire right now, man. What happened? Well, it's not gonna be good now.
You don't look like what's his face from Home Alone. Just like got that McAllister symbol on
Yep.
your hand.
I'm telling you, man. I've had the ones where you think about like walking in traffic. I've had those, or you
Jeez.
visualize doing something. It's just a thing. My brain just goes there.
Right.
I've had the ones about hurting folks. Though those are, I've had almost every kind, man. I ain't gonna get into some of the
Mm-hmm.
other ones, but they're there,
Very vivid.
and it doesn't freak me out anymore because I know it's like fake. I
Right.
know that my brain is like ADHD as shit, and just like, oh, you could do this. I could. I'm not going to, but like, I could drink this bleach, but I'm not going to.
It's kind of like it's a little, not saying it's very much, but um it's like in Generation V, um with the character who he has like schizophrenia and
Yep.
stuff, and he sees that stuff, but then he actually acts out on those things. So he feels
Yep.
like he can't really control his brain and everything like that, and his actions. And so, like you said, like, you don't do those things obviously because they're not real, but then there are plenty of other people who kind of see that stuff and actually
Overwhelmed.
kind of go into it and
That
actually do those things because they think it's real,
facts, facts. That's why people end up needing to go to therapy.
yeah.
And if we can't help you in therapy, then that's when we got to get the medication involved, because your anxiety is
Hmm.
so high that we got to get you to like regulate and come back down. So then the talk therapy actually works. So good
Mm.
majority of the time when the dragon is so big and so scary and so monstrous, if we can't get it to
Right.
work with therapy, talking, then we need to get medication. Okay, we need to take this fucking Charizard, turn it into a Charmeleon. Is it Charmeleon? Charmeleon.
It's Charmeleon.
Charmeleon. Charmeleon.
Or a little cute Charmander. Let's try to get it to a Charmander, but we gotta do step by step.
Step by step, right? Step by step. And so I like this scene. Last version why I like it is because you got this little damaged, fucked up guy, me, not little, but damaged.
Mm.
And then I set people free.
Mm.
And the dragon could be them. It also could be the disorder that's going on, right? And you unchain it, like, hey man, you're good. Stop fucking with my client now.
Mm-hmm.
Go, I'm gonna let you go now. Don't say shit, but I'm gonna let you go. I'll lock your ass back up now. And then when he walks away and he's talking to homeboy, man, don't ever let me do that shit again.
I mean, I see that in like both ways. It's just like, also it's like, you know, you help a lot of people's lives and things like that, but then you also don't get the compensation that probably and other, social works, therapists don't
No.
really get the chance to do. And you put your own mental health on the line. You put sometimes even your physical health on the line, depending on who you are,
Yep.
on the line as well. And you do it all, for the good of people instead of it, just being about the money, obviously. But at the same time, you got basketball players that put their bodies on the line. Why not give the same amount of money for those who put their minds on the line and help out? Same with teachers, obviously. I
Yep.
think teachers
Equitable
get
pay for
paid
teachers.
very well
Yep.
too. So,
Yep.
kind of
I
see that
100.
comparison.
I support that 100%. And sometimes you go and do these jobs, man. You're like, man, I don't even know why the fuck I'm doing this, man. Stop me from going to do this shit. I can see where like people going to do too much or work too many hours and all that. Yeah. So real quick story time, Spence. I told you yesterday I was tired, man. I was gassed.
Yeah.
Last Friday I hung out real late with coworkers. Saturday I got to rest, and then Sunday we did 2 pods, and then I did grocery shopping. So that was a tiring day.
Yep.
Monday I went and lifted. Tuesday was Halloween, so I had to stay up until like 9:30, 10, right? Just grinding, helping out the kids. Long days too during the day, work, therapy. Wednesday, I did a consult with someone at my old school to like help them like connect with students better. Then I had a nighttime therapy client. Thursday, we had another long pod. Friday, I had another nighttime client. So I was just gassed, bro. Just gassed. And like, that would have been me like telling my other self, knock my ass out when I sign up for this much shit. Thankfully, I got a lot of sleep. I just realized while we were doing the pod that my ears like super warm. So that's another reason why I was tired. I must have an ear thing going on because it's like real warm on the side.
Right.
And that makes sense. My sinuses are plugged up. That makes sense. So this other scene. Now this is a good visual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you? I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna flip it in reverse. It's flab flab flab. You got a big? I don't know the rest of the song.
It's not your business, sir. It's not your business.
Hey, Damn.
Made you jump.
Made you jump, boy. It's pretty though. Oh, let me stop.
You think why people have certain inclinations about you? I wonder why.
Hey, I don't know, man. So when you saw this scene and you knew I was going to use it for therapy today, did it make sense on why I was using it? Because I know you like the show. Well, I know you liked the show up to this point.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense to me. I think I know what you're going for. I know you explained it a little bit, but just kind of having those, I think you're going back to kind of intrusive thoughts, right? With that, so like just out of nowhere, you got a dragon come out of nowhere, coming back from the dead, just when you thought it was dead. And then just tears down the wall, just tears down, like you're doing well in life, you're doing good things after maybe, getting through some type of disorder or, something like that. And all of a sudden it kind of creeps back at you and it tears your whole wall down of what you thought was secure, but not really. So I think I know what you're going for there. I hope that's kind of helps with that. But yeah, I mean, for this was like peak Game of Thrones right there. Like, we hit that point where it was like, oh shit, winter is about to hit. Winter is about to hit. You got the zombie dragon, like a zombie dragon. That's some shit I would never even thought of in my life.
Never. But now that's there. Now I gotta worry about this.
Yeah. Never thought I'd have to worry about that, but here we are. Then Army of the Dead fucking coming, trolling through the wall. It's terrifying. Terrifying, but amazing.
Yeah, it's all Army of the Dead, and and then you got this like weird piercing blue eyes fucking zombie leader. It's like Jesus, man.
The White Walkers.
White Walkers. Jeez.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like if I was like in an army trying to defend like my land, and then all of a sudden I see zombies that are, that have like a zombie dragon in charge of everything, I'd be like, fuck this, I'm gone. Like I'm not doing this. I don't care.
Just jump off the bridge. Fuck it.
Yeah, might as well. And then I'd be part of the fucking the zombies. So it doesn't really work out well. But,
either way, you fighting, motherfucker.
I'm fighting either for the other team or my team. I don't know which one.
Unless you like me and I like both teams.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. If y'all don't know, we have been apparently mistaken for women on our because Nas likes to use emojis to the point where you think it's a woman. And if you just open up your DMs, be like, wow, this woman is really achieving things.
Yep.
In her practice. Nope, it's this. And then if you come on our pod, you'll get a big surprise.
Hey, so everyone that listens to the pod or people that are going to listen to that are future guests, two big ass dudes. Big ass dudes, man.
Yep. So don't be surprised once you get on. We're not women.
So we got a guest coming on. Danny Self Love coming out maybe next month. So this will come out like real quick, and then that'll come out next month. And they thought I was a woman, and then I didn't realize that. I thought they just love the page. They've been following us for like a year now, and they said just the way you text, the way you write things, just a lot of warm feminine energy. I was like, okay, all right, calm down now. And then they talked about this retreat, and they tagged me in this retreat to go on this thing to like Bali and all that. I didn't say nothing because I ain't going nowhere with no one. And then she was like, oh yeah, so all women's retreat, and I was like, oh damn, they definitely thought I was a woman.
Yeah, you were like, yeah, before like maybe it was to men too. And I was like,
nope, it was all women,
all the ladies,
all the ladies. So I put it on threads like, hey man, like that's when like you're being real good to people and not like creeping on people when they think you're women. So all dudes must be sending creepy shit. So if you send anything nice, they like, that's a woman.
Yeah.
Yep. They like, that's a big brown breasted woman.
Just remember, guys, if you want to if you actually just want to be friends with a woman, just use as many emojis as you can.
A bunch of emojis, please and thank you,
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you. So that was a good time. I guess they hopped on the podcast and immediately just saw me and Spence staring at them. They're like, what the
freaked out.
Did I go to the wrong classroom?
So they sent me the wrong link here?
Yeah. Hey, this Bobby, and I'm Bobby Jr.
Bobby.
Yeah. Funny stuff, man. Can you imagine the intrusive thoughts then? So imagine,
like, what?
Dude, so she would be the wall, and that's fine, stable, sturdy, excited, knows what they're getting ready to do, and then they get hit upside the head with a blue zombie dragon.
Zombie dragon.
Yep.
With that blue steam.
That blue steam. Yep. I'm just thinking of Blue Streak now. That shark just fucking eats Samuel L. Jackson.
Jeez. That's not Blue Streak, jackass.
No. What's that? Deep Blue Sea. It's Blue Sea. Blue Sea. Deep.
Deep Blue?
Deep Blue.
I think it's just Deep Blue. It's not Deep Blue Sea.
It is Deep Blue Sea.
It's just deep. All right, I'm gonna look this up
it
right
ain't
now.
Deep Blue, motherfucker.
I got my monitor.
It
up.
also
I'm about
ain't
to look it up real quick.
Blue Sea is Deep Blue Sea.
Jackass, it's Deep Blue.
It's not Deep Blue, motherfucker. That's some black dude on the street.
It is Deep Blue Sea. God damn it.
Who the fuck is Deep
God
Blue? That's the stage, man.
What's the difference? I gotta know it's a sea. Like, yeah, there's a shark in it. What's it supposed to be?
Motherfucker? I'm in the Deep
Blue. Whatever.
Deep Blue. That's my dog, man.
My dog, Deep Blue.
We was in lockup, man.
Oh my god.
All right. So you were right. This is a scene. What is a representation of you got all your shit together. Things are good. You got your diet right, exercise right. You got career on path. You got your school on ready. Like everything is going in that way. And then you got that little inkling in the back of your head, like something's going to be wrong. I'm just waiting for it now. I'm waiting for shit to turn. Like I've never been happy like this. And this shit is weird. And I'd be like, you know what? You're right. And they'd be like, how dare you say that? I'm like, what? Something bad's going to happen. Inevitable. We don't know what that thing is. And you will deal with it and handle it just like you always have. I like the way Spence was talking about it, where maybe you got shit going, you got your identity or personality set, or your career set, and then the wall falls. Now you lose your identity. Who are you? Because that wall was, I was this educated individual, I was this gamer, I was this musician, was this athlete, I was a neurotypical, and now you're saying I got autism now. So now that wall falls. Now what? Now the motherfucking zombie apocalypse walking on your ass. You in the shower too. Nah.
Yeah. Terrifying.
Bobby?
Why does it always happen when I'm naked?
Yeah, or the zombies, boy. It must be one of the British zombie movies. So it's two things. I thought of as the dragon just tearing down the wall, of being like horrific anxiety. But then you brought up this other thing where I'm like, oh, okay, so the wall could be your identity. And that could just be the one bad thing that happens. So maybe, don't get into grad school, fail a grade. Maybe you break up with your partner that had been in like 5 years, and you realize, something, you're not meant for each other, or they were cheating on you, and you're like, oh, damn, did they ever love me? Right? That will fuck you up.
Yeah.
That will change the way you view yourself and the way you view everyone moving forward. So I guess that's what we're talking about with this, is that loss of identity and the wall falling.
Yeah.
Especially if you just spent all your life, dude. Like, imagine being a person with a lot of shit, Spence, and you fucked up, man. Life's been hard, money issues, finances, right? You might be a queer individual. And you start making it, and you start building this wall, right? And then the motherfucking ocean just come and just blows away the entire sand wall. That'll make someone want to quit. That'll make you be like, man, fuck this. Like, excuse the language, but maybe not staying alive is, maybe this is bullshit. Maybe I just want to I just don't want to do it anymore. I had students like that. I had a student recently that said, man, I can't keep doing this shit. I said, well, man, that's life. It's doing this. This is what you signed up for. I didn't sign up for this. Well, homie, motherfucker, this is the game you got. You got one of them, you got an Xbox controller and the motherfucking joystick stuck. Kool-Aid spilled on it and shit. Cheeto puffs in the buttons.
It kind of reminds me of like
What's up?
Q-Tip. He was on an Anderson .Paak song, and he said, rags to riches, back to rags is a motherfucker.
It's me, a Spencer, and I'm here to talk about our longtime collaborator, Cure Hydration. Cure is a premium hydrating electrolyte drink mix made with organic coconut water and pink Himalayan salt with no sugar added. It contains 4 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. My go-to flavor is grapefruit, but if you're not into that, you can go and get their variety pack with 8 different flavors to sample. Go to curehydration.com or go to our link tree and use the code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order today.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's another way to go with this. You can go up, and then you can also go back down. And so, man, to redo that, it's, simple thing to visualize. Or like, even if you're playing a video game and you get killed in one, or let's say you lose in some type of ranked match. Let's say you had $20 in your pocket and then you lost it. You're like, man, that could fuck up your whole day, could fuck up your whole life. It can be very toxic and draining. Loss is much harder than wins. You could win, have 10 different good things happen in a day, and that one bad thing happens, and you're like, oh, this is the worst day ever. Like, no, I ain't doing this no more. Like, fuck this. No, I quit this life. Y'all friends, y'all all suck. This all sucks. I'm joining the zombies. And you're right. Rags to riches, right? I would be more sad if I was rags to riches and then lose it again than someone that has money and then lost it. Because you had to work all the way up to it. Everyone else that had the money and lost it, y'all was already rich. Y'all was good. You don't know hardship until now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how it goes, man.
That's how it goes. Yeah. Right. You'd be scared for the poor or not the rich person, because like, you don't know, like, let's say they were born into it. they might not know how to get back up there, back on top. Where the other person, hey man, they know the steps on how to grind. They might be able to get back up there.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like, and not even just like from a economic standpoint. It's just like if you go from like mentally being like just out of it to then, having like your peak of like your mental health and things like that, and then something in life just kind of hits you right back down. You might have the tools to actually get back to that
Good
mental
point.
state. You might be, might take a little bit longer, maybe might take a little sooner. But that all depends on like what happens to you, and how you feel like you can actually kind of navigate through it.
And respond. I was thinking this, maybe we start doing this as we start setting up these pods. So the one that we're going to do with Danny is on Modern Love, and specifically Anne Hathaway's character from the Amazon original that is bipolar as hell, and ups and downs, and like relationships are bad, everything's bad. And so imagine being that individual, Spence, like Anne Hathaway's character. You doing good, you've been struggling, and then you tank, you blow this relationship, gets fired from your job. Like, that's a lot, man. Imagine being like stable on medication, and then you have just like a bad spell, and then it goes just down.
Yeah.
That's tough. Mentally, that is tough, because it's like, how do I get back up? Same folks with like addiction issues, right? You might be sober for a minute. By minute, I mean like a long time, because that's a slang thing. It's like months, years. And then, right, you mess up and like it was a bad day, bad week, and then you drink or you smoke, whatever it is. And you got two options. You're going to double down and keep fucking it up and just go on a hell of a bender and blow everything up, because you can. Or you're going to get back on the horse and like do what you got to do, and then just like forgive yourself and move on. That's a tough one with addiction, or even with OCD, because you could be good with OCD for a minute, and then my client will be like, well, bro, I'd had a year good, and now I'm like in the weeds, bro. I need your help. I'm dying. And I hate myself because I got back here. Dude, one of my clients came to me like this year, and they were like sobbing when they came to me. I said, what's wrong? They said, I let you down. Like, you fixed me, and like now I'm all fucked up again. I said, come on, man. That's not how this works. I'm not. Well, aren't you disappointed to see me? Fuck no, I seen you on the schedule. I couldn't wait to see your crazy ass. What? I said, yeah, man, we're good. People aren't just fixed, bro. That mental health shit is it's a lifetime struggle. Motherfucker, buckle up. I said it right this time. Buckle up, because we in for a ride.
Right.
But as long as you got the skills, resources, support, everything that me and Spencer have been preaching for the last 2 years, shit, that ride might not be as bad. It might not be the fucking Velocicoaster or whatever at Orlando. It might be just like one of them little boat ones on Disney.
Shit ever.
I thought I was gonna die, bro. I literally felt myself falling out of the ride.
I did too. And people enjoy that, and they're like, I need to do that again. I was like, fuck no.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to do it again. Like,
I know you did. That's why you fucking you're one of those people that's just like, my heart was racing and I love it. I'm like, no, I like to keep it at a steady pace. I like to not
steady pace. I had to change my panty. I need to change panty.
My panty.
Yeah. So but, I mean, that's it for the scenes today, man. Unless you got any sauce, crisscross applesauce. I don't know.
I would just have to say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially when it comes to your mental health. Just because you might have a solution going on that you may think is really working, and it might be. Don't expect it to work all the time. Make sure to have backup plans into, what's going on with you. I don't have anything specific like that. I speak in general terms. So, I mean, if Naz, you have anything to kind of add with like some more details about that, please go ahead.
You just know that, you might have the therapy going, medicine going, maybe you got some coaching going. Make sure you got your supports going. If you're journaling, you got apps. If you got suicidality, self-harm stuff, make sure you've got your safety plan and your emergency contacts. make sure you got your gadgets and your fidget toys. There's a lot of steps to this. Make sure your nutrition is good as it can be when you're actually feeling well and you can plan it out. Make sure you're drinking water, exercise, right? It's a lot. But don't just put it all. I'm gonna just make sure I'm just gonna do swimming. What happens when you get injured and then now you can't do no swimming? I'm just gonna do my meds. Well, we need to build some other skills other than just your meds. That's just supposed to help. It's not supposed to be the fix.
Mm-hmm.
It's multi-layered, multifaceted. Because one day that dragons are coming. And if you ain't got a plan on how to conquer that dragon and to make it, somewhat of a pet, right? Just a Rottweiler sitting outside, but that's cool with you and hates everyone else. If you can't do that, we're screwed. Because when the big bad wolf comes and comes blowing the fucking house down, we got to have some plans.
There you go.
So focus on making that safety plan, that net, that security. Make sure it's tight. So that when you fall, you always get back up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The zombie dragon is a coming for all of us. The question is, will you be able to withstand the wall falling? And I think you can, because there's a couple other good dragons that came ready to come kick some ass with Daenerys. So, or you forget, you facing one, but you got two. So shout out to Rory and Rory FC coming on the podcast. It was awesome to have you last Thursday.
Yep.
I love Monday podcasts. It's me and Spence talking a little bit and then just having some fun, sharing some stories.
Shout out to Andrea as well.
Yeah.
She was great too.
And they were so tired doing that podcast and they were busy, long day. So for all you folks that like the Monday pods, go watch Thursdays, all that fun. If you're in Minnesota area, go support Aurora FC.
Yes.
Wonderful organization. Great people, great women, phenomenal thing that they're doing. And they're actually legitimately good at soccer too.
Yes. And not to mention also that they're fantastic with their community. They're the first pro team to have us on, and we really appreciate that because we talked to a lot of pro teams and they just didn't want anything to do with us, which is fine. I mean, hey, whatever, because they didn't really know who we are. But you know what? Aurora gave us a really good chance, and I think we are coming out with a great pod that's coming out on this Thursday, November 9th. So go check it out and, go follow them because they really do appreciate it and really deserve it. So,
support women, support people of color, support queer folk.
Yep.
Go give them a follow. Just to pay respects. If you listen to us, give them a follow. It's great content and great people. So, always folks, remember, we're here to make you laugh and smile and give you some education. Remember that. We're here to have a good time. So you put us on, you listen to us, you have some fun, do your dishes or your homework or whatever, you drive into work. But hopefully we're making a lot of you smile. So much respect. Rest in peace, Matthew Perry. And that's about it for today.
Yes. Yeah. And not just for Chandler Bing, but, for every other role he's done and also for all he's done for people with addiction. He's he had to face a lot of turmoil with his addiction, but he turned that into, trying to help others with the same thing. So hopefully that more of those stories about him come out and that we can really see how he was as a human. So
here we go.
That's all I got. All right. So thank you everyone for watching today. Like I said before, go check out our collaborators and then also go check out our great merch that we have. Yes, it's not different, not less, but you know what? Think. Also different. So yeah, and if you haven't already, go check out Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Shout out to that little show. Probably needs our help promoting them. Actually, I just saw that season 2 was coming out for the prequel. What's it called?
I don't know. House of Dragons. House of
Jesus,
Dragons.
I have to,
House of Dragons.
House of Dragons. There it is.
House of Dragons.
I don't give a fuck. All right. So go check that out, people. And thank you for watching. I'm Spencer. That's Nas. This is
And
the
remember,
Different Podcast.
Yep. Much love, everyone. Much respect. Remember, take care of yourself.
Or don't.
That's completely up to you. Deuces.
Bye.
Tell me what you want.